super fantastic family. Today is Friday, Fantabulous Earth Friday, February 15, 2019. Yours truly, Ray Ren 98 here, along with.
Good morning, TNT. All right, it is indeed Friday. As we know, Friday doesn't lead to a whole lot of information, but today might be a little bit different. Or it could be the same old, same old. So we shall see. All right, Ray. First question is, I don't know why that TNT song is not on the top of the charts. I've been looking at all the radio stations everywhere, and I'm just not seeing it. And I'm thinking that's a top 10 song at least. But anyway, we'll get it there. All right, what's going on today?
Let's see. We had some updates that went out, so we can start from there. Thursday update, late Thursday afternoon, evening, after Valentine's dinner for you folks. Anyway, Iraqi TV is broadcasting the United Nations giving Iraq a warning that further severe repercussions could result from their delay in forming their government. The deputy to Parliament reportedly stated that all of the recovered money would be pointless to Iraq if it is not based on international rates, thus enabling them to compete with the rest of the world. Maliki, along with his son and some in-laws, are implicated in fraudulent activities of giving inside Iraqi information to American companies to help them win government contracts. And rates are again visible to some bank sources. Zim at 24 cents, Dinar at $4.43, Dong at $1.37. Time will tell what happens next. And it is now time.
All right then, which is all good news. So let's start with Maliki though. So Maliki is implemented. Now we're just thinking, guys, because it's a news article. Him and his family members were given the U.S. companies inside information to get the contract. Maliki was with Tehran giving the U.S. inside information to get the contract. Sound like somebody set somebody up, but okay, that's all we got to do for that. UN making it very public. Iraq needs to form the government, which Iraq is now saying they have reached some agreements on, and it will be formed at the beginning of the next session. More importantly, they're talking about the international rates more. And what you guys didn't know is the rates went off the board on Wednesday. All the rates fell off the boards. But they came back last night, which is great. And people are looking for some action, possibly over the weekend. And I'm just saying possibly. What's supposed to happen is there's a meeting in Iraq tomorrow between Mahdi and Barzani. They're supposed to finalize the documents, the tariffs, and everything that is signed tomorrow is supposed to be implemented tomorrow. So whatever that is, it's supposed to be implemented tomorrow. Now we know the tariffs and taxes supposed to start on Sunday. We have articles saying it applies to vehicles that are $50,000 or more. But even that would have an effect on other parts of the country. So even that's what the article said, we're looking for it to apply to a whole lot more come Sunday morning. We shall see, is all we can say at this point. But there are a lot of people on both sides of the pond that are very excited at this moment. Let's see what happens. All right, Ray, let's get some questions out the way.
Okay, let's see here. All right, that was.
Yes, we are supposed to get 800 numbers, so we already got that one answered. All right.
A Volker says there's no need for so many to ask how you both are doing. It gets so boring. Well, guys, you just have to hang up because people are people, and I like talking to people that have a real, sincere feeling in their heart, and most of those have a real, sincere feeling in their heart when they ask. So I don't mind them asking. But if it's boring to anyone else, yeah, just hang up. Call back in later. Because I'm not going to tell them to stop. Cosmo says the budget appears to be 119 billion. Would it be in the trillions using today's rate? It seems they are using the higher rate for the budget.
Anytime it's in the billions, they are using the higher rate for it. So it was 133 trillion. It is now only, and remember it was 299 billion at the 3-something rate. So now if it's dropped down to 100-something billion, the rate is even higher. Okay? Ray.
Yes.
Yeah, we got all that noise back. It just started.
Back again?
Just started.
Okay.
Sound like you're in a windstorm or somewhere, a tornado or something. There you go. All right. We have to wait till he switches mic, so as soon as he comes back, we'll keep this part going. Yes.
Switch over.
There we go.
All right, we'll get back to the questions.
We can't hear you.
Okay. No, I'm going over some and deleting some. They don't need to be in there in the first place. So it's taking a second. All right, B Zollinger. Let me. I'm starting to see it pop up more and more. Guys, we have members of our team that left and asked to not be in the spotlight. So you asking questions about them is bringing them back out in the spotlight. So respect the request. Maybe you forgot, but they're requesting not to be brought back out in the spotlight. B. Zollinger says the budget is passed with 1198 and in the Gazette, which is law. This means no RV in 2019, no matter of any article. Am I missing something?
Yes, you are missing something. Because that was the budget and they use the old rate, does not mean their currency cannot change during the year. There's no law, no restriction saying they can only change their currency rate during their budget proposal. So that's what you're missing. They can change the rate any day at any given moment.
Okay, Red says, are the ATMs giving out the lower denoms in Iraq?
ATMs are not giving out the lower denoms. ATMs are loaded with the lower denoms. They will not give them out until the RV is announced.
Okay. Tony, do you feel like we are helping Vietnam economically by buying their currency at the present time? And will our purchases help their country after the RV?
Are we helping their rate go up by buying what we're buying? I'm sure we are. Their economy. Will our purchases after the RV help them? They'll have a different rate, a different economy, just like Iraq will. So it's going to help everybody in that fashion. Nothing we will do after that, because after this we won't be involved with Vietnam. We won't be buying their currency anymore at the rate that we are. So just the RVing of their currency or the changing of their rate helps their economy.
Okay. Beta says, is the slow rollout still going on?
Are people still going to the bank? I'm pretty sure they are, because there's no need to stop it. Now, I didn't hear about anybody today or yesterday, but I know the plan was to bring people in, and he said they were going to continue doing that. So I have no reason to think that they stopped. And I'm looking forward to this weekend, or by Tuesday, that there'll be a bunch of people involved in that process. Let's say that. We'll know Saturday morning. We'll know Saturday afternoon. We'll know after the meeting. Hopefully we're doing a call this weekend. Okay?
Okay. Quiz says, several years back, TNT had We Are the People campaign to ensure that we would be part of the Iraqi exchange process to include the contract rates. Could you please take a second and explain to me how we are going to be identified at the financial institutions at the time we do our exchange?
You're going to be identified by somebody coming in exchanging the currency. So, listen, so everybody knows this, because everybody's not a TNT member. Everybody's not in the TNT forum. But everybody is trying to accomplish the same thing, and that's get their currency exchange. Now, TNT had the deal. I mean, we had the deal because we were working with certain people involved in the government. We were doing things. I was doing things they asked me to do. So, yes, I did that. I, in turn, felt it was, and I want to say our responsibility, because it was my responsibility to do the We Are the People after I got certain information. And I'm not trying to start no fights, I just want everybody to just listen. And after it came to me that we were trying to be excluded. That's it. TNT was in the fight for everybody, not just for our 140,000 Twitter followers. We were in the fight for all 8 million people who have Dinar, whether they know it or not. And we did that for everybody. So that's who is included in it. Everybody, not just TNT members. People who don't even come to TNT, don't listen to TNT, go listen to the other gurus. They all benefited from what we did, and they continue. So that's who it's going to go. You know, they told me, again, that this many people would get the contract rate. First of all, we're still in the fight. And I tell you guys, it was brought to me, you earned your seat at the table. That's how it was put to me. You've earned your seat at the table, so you're in. So we're in. Now, contract rate, this is the percentage that we're going to give you. And I told you then it was more than I ever even imagined, because it was. I knew I was going to have to fight for a percentage. But the very part that they offered me, I agreed to. I'm telling y'all that because it was more than I was even going to fight for. So I said, okay, I'm in. We're in. And we're going to look for that. We're going to look for it not just by TNT members, but the contacts that we still have, people that are still involved in it, people who care about you as much as we did. And that's why it worked, because it was people in the government, in the banking system, and actually around the world, because other countries participated in this with us to make sure that everybody got involved. Those same people are going to be looking, reporting, we're trying to track things and see what rates they're paying out on to know that they are, in fact, doing what they said they were going to do. And we're going to track it to the best of our abilities, and that's why I say you guys can come back to the forum. You can use your board name so nobody's tracking you. Just get an NDA. Rates that you got. I need to know some people are getting the rates besides from my banking people and that. I need some of you guys to tell me I got that contract rate. I got this, I got that. So I know that they are, in fact, doing what they said they were going to do. Because that's what this was all about. But it wasn't about just TNT people. So you don't need to say, hey, I'm part of TNT, or Tony said I can get this, or if you go in there saying Tony's name, they probably can tell you get the hell out anyway. But anyway, say TNT You don't even have to go into TNT. I just want the contract rate. This is what we told, and try to negotiate it. If I get back a whole bunch of people telling me there's no contract rate, they don't know what you're talking about, nobody's getting it paid out, then we have an issue. Then we go to Plan B. But until then, everything seems like it's smooth and it's ready to go. All right, Ray.
Okay, Amadeus 613 says, I would like to know if the currency, like the dong or any other currency, will increase in value on the stock market like the dinar, in which we can exchange.
I would think they all would at some point, but it's like anything else. People concentrate on one thing at a time. If all of them come out the same day, investors are going for the money. Which one's going the highest? That's where I'm going. They're going to put their money. Now, you can sit back and watch the dong and the zim and see if those go up and then go into the bank also. I just don't expect them to go up like the dinar is going up. That's the only difference.
Okay. Samwise says, on Wednesday's call, you stated that the opportunity to purchase precious metals during the exchange would be virtually impossible. Thanks for that info, by the way. That had been my plan. However, upon leaving the exchange, shouldn't I be able to go and make my purchase at any local bank, wiring the money to a silver dealer, and perhaps then have my order delivered to that bank into a safety deposit box? Would it be considered common practice or out of the ordinary?
I would think it's common practice. I would think, yeah. Once you leave your exchange, your money's in your bank. You can go to the bank down the street and just do normal bank business. They look up your account. You got it. You want to buy that, then just buy it. I just don't think you can do it during your exchange because they're trying to exchange people and get them out. That's their sole purpose. Now, you leave the exchange, that's your wealth manager. If you go to a wealth manager, hey, this is what I need to do. He reschedules you to do that, or he sends you to somebody else. Here, just go down there and do it. That makes sense. I just don't see it happening during the exchange. Now, the more money you have, the longer period of time you can be given, he may do something like that. You got 100 million, 200 million, 500 million, whatever it is. Well, we're going to give you hour and a half, 2 hours. We're going to work this all out right now. You may be his only appointment for the day. So I can't say every case, but the average person, they're trying to get you in and out in 30 minutes and done. And that is not exchange all your currency, set your account up, and then set up, the rest of your financial life. It's not going to happen. Not during the exchange process. Okay.
Also, you spoke to one person who asked a question regarding the spread. He said that at Wells Fargo it was, it was 20%. Does that mean that a 28.50 contract rate would only yield an actual rate of 22.80?
That's what that. Now the contract rate, 28.50. If that is in fact, that's outside of the normal buy-sell rates. So that may not be taking place with the contract rates. So I wouldn't think they take 20% because that's buy-sell, and they can't buy-sell at 28.50. That would only apply at whether it was $4.20, $4 or $4.40. Then it applies down there doing normal business. I wouldn't expect anything like that, not even near that at the contract rates.
All right. Jimmy and KC, what new information, if any, do you have about the terms of structured payouts?
Don't have any. Last information we got anyway was it was going to be up to the banks. Individual banks could do different structures based on the amount of currency that you have. So we'll have to wait. When this goes, we're going to get all that type of information, guys, and we're going to talk about it either while you're at the bank or before you go to the bank, because they're going to give it to us, or people can come back to the board, people who've gone in first, and then we're going to go over the information. But I should get something either way. so we don't have a bunch of mass confusions during our exchanges. All right.
Samadhi says, my friend says you have to have a list of humanitarian projects, etc., that you are going to do with your money when exchanging them. I know before you said it wasn't necessary, but has that changed?
Okay, so you're going into the bank and you're going to exchange them for 24 cents, which would be great. Well, let's say Ray's going into the bank and he got them and it's 24 cents. And then he's going into the branch on ABC Street. Now, I'm going into the bank and I got them and it's 24 cents. And I'm going into the branch on XYZ Street. So we're both going in. We both want 24 cents. And we're talking to two different people who do nothing but doing exchanges. And they're going to determine whether I get the money or not. I have to present my humanitarian packages, business ideas to this guy. This guy, he has to look at me across the table and says, yeah, I approve of your ideas, or hey, I think your ideas stink, so I'm not going to give you the money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in what business or banking world does that make sense to anybody? That guy sitting over there who's just going to do nothing but exchange people all day gets to determine what rate I get, and I have to present my business ideas to him. Never ran a business in his life, don't know how a fund works, never did investments. All he's doing is inputting numbers into a computer and putting it in your account, but he gets to make the decisions for the rest of my life. You got to seriously believe that crap. I mean, who does it make sense to? Anybody tells me that makes sense, I'm agree with them, because it doesn't make any sense. People been telling you guys that forever. The only time you had to have a humanitarian package was when you were trying to get the contract rate with the Zim. It had to go through the bank and be approved by Zimbabwe. That's not what we're doing now. Nobody has to submit their life ideas to the bank at all. You go in there, you get your contract rate, you take your money, and you do your plan. You and your wealth manager want to come out with a plan to accomplish what you want done. But they're not going to review your plan and determine if you can have the money versus me having the money. Who has that authority? If that's the case, everybody send me all your humanitarian projects, and I'll grade them A through Z and submit them to the bank. Now, does that make sense? Did I get to grade everybody's? No, it doesn't. And that bull has been going around for years. And people have been getting you to send in your packages and your information and your ideas to them. For what? What gives them the authority to say how much you get? It doesn't make sense, guys. You got to think. You got to think. You got to be prepared. When you get this money, these are the very same people you're going to run into trying to take this money from you. You better start thinking it through. All right, Ray.
Okay. All right. I was cleaning up some questions. Lost my place. Let me get back. Lady D says we will always hear of slow rollout in the U.S. What about slow rollout in Canada? Have you heard anything?
No, I haven't.
Okay. High Cotton says, can I be the sole member of a C Corp? Or do I have to have at least one other member? I don't know of any C Corps that have a sole member, but I can't answer that for you. I'm not in the corporation education business. So you need to speak with someone who does corporations and drafts those, and they can let you know. Talk to some live people. Some of the other questions are Zim questions that you've already addressed. 951. You're on.
Good afternoon. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good. Hey, Tony. Just for clarification on, your CBI guy has been saying it's done, and then now he's saying the middle of March. First of all, obviously it's the same person from the CBI. Is his analysis still the middle of March that he's looking at?
Well, Wednesday people were frustrated. Today people were excited about tomorrow. So
Okay.
let's see what happens.
Okay, that answers that question. No problem. No problem. Okay. I got it, man. Got it. All right. Let's talk taxes and tariffs. They want to have the unification of the custom procedures at all ports. And in order for them to get the codes for the products, they have to be international. And so the bottom line is that the CBI, in my opinion, has to come out and declare that they're international and drop the 3 zeros in order to get those codes and in order for everything in uniform. Where am I wrong in my thinking? Because the thing is, they can't do these international codes on Sunday. Well, in one article came out that it's going to start tomorrow, but if it starts Sunday, fine, that doesn't matter. But what happens if they don't come out and declare they're international? What do they do then?
Then they don't, right? Then they change the date once again. But
Okay.
if they do, and they are international, then what else has to happen? Then the rate has to change because now they're international, right? Well, it doesn't have to. Okay, so they're signing that deal when? Tomorrow. That's what everybody's excited about. And he comes in, signs the deal, and they say everything is implemented immediately. So we will see.
So you're saying that maybe that he's going to go ahead and give the new rate tomorrow. Then basically is what you're looking for, possibly.
There you go. Basically, possibly. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe.
Well, that's what they are anticipating. Once the deal is signed, everything will go into effect, and taxes will apply to everything, not just $50,000 and above cars. So
correct.
That's what they're excited about over there. So we're going to see.
Okay, no problem. You had mentioned on Wednesday's call that you're going to have an evening call on Wednesday evening, or you said you're going to have a conference call. Was there anything that you can share from that conference call, or move on to the next question?
Next question, because they were having the actual call, but they didn't call me back with anything, so I don't have any update from their last call. Okay.
All right, no problem. And you had mentioned that about the 800 numbers. It was a very short statement. Can you give us a little bit of time frame on that, or are they anticipating something on that, or once again we go back to the Mahdi Barzani meeting and we'll see what happens after that?
Well, I'm just telling you guys that now the information is there will be 800 numbers used because they were trying to go back and forth. Let's use them. Let's not use them. But they will be used. Okay.
Got it. Okay. I got it for sure. And the other thing is that you had mentioned 404 had mentioned about the mind game, and then you had mentioned only the strong survive. You are absolutely 100% right on this. This is a complicated investment, but I think we're coming to the end. And you're absolutely right. I love that statement. Only the strong survive. And with that, hopefully we'll have a call tomorrow, and you can tell us, give us the update on that. And I appreciate your time and appreciate the information then, guys. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Take care. Have a good day.
All righty. 610, you're on.
Hey, good afternoon, Ray. Hey, good morning, Tony. G-Man in PA.
Man, you got in early today, huh?
Yes, I did. I was able to get in early. It worked out well.
Okay. Well, good morning, sir.
Well, good morning to you, and you're sounding much better, so continue to stay healthy, Tony. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. It's another Dynamite Day here in the USA, and for all of you who are new to the call and all of you who didn't know, all these calls and all the means of communication that Ray and Tony use to keep us informed need to be paid for. And it's up to all of us out here in the currency community to make donations in order to help pay for the calls. You can do your part by going to www.tntsuperfantastic.com, clicking on that red donate button, and when you do, the name and address will come up to where you can send your check or money order made payable to Raymond Renfro, P.O. Box 1748, Elm City. That's just like the tree. Elm City, North Carolina, 27822. And for those of you who would like to donate electronically, the Cash App is available on the donation page. And if you're already familiar with and utilizing the Cash App, you can go to $TNT Superfantastic, and you'll be able to make your donation electronically. Remember to do it today, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be very glad that you did. And again, Tony and Ray, thank you again for all you continue to do for us out here in the currency community. Thank you to those 13 task force members still out there making sure that the bankers and meeting facilities will be available for us post-RV so we can get all that banking information. And I'll close out with Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. Verification, negotiation, diversification, protect your principal, and rally, 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 so I can come join you and enjoy some of that good home-style North Carolina barbecue. Thank you, gentlemen. Make it a dynamite weekend.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Oh, while we're on that subject, I'm starting a new accounting procedure, so those of you who do donate, however way you send it in, please include your telephone number. Thank you very much. 281 area code, you are on.
Well, hello, Ray. Hello, Tony.
Hey.
How you guys doing today?
Hey. I'm super fantastic. Well? How are you? Yes. I can hear you too much.
Oh, you see, you starting already. All right. Oh, wow. I'm so ready. I'm ready for this thing to be over. I'm ready to crank the bus up, Tony. I don't care if it's the short bus or the long bus. I just want to take a bus. I'm ready.
Hey, let's just get it there.
Let's get it done. I had a question. On the rates, I think you said they were off on the screen, then they were off the screen. I think you said they were back on the screen. I'm assuming you're talking here in the U.S., correct? Because Iraq is...
Oh,
okay. Okay. And they're excited, I'm assuming. I thought I heard you say that they're looking forward to something possibly happening this weekend. So, do you think that after the markets close today that we could start looking for things, or would it make more sense to say Monday, starting Sunday, after our time Sunday, I guess? After the markets open, we may see something or not.
If you really want to just relax and enjoy your weekend, you should start looking for Tuesday morning. Okay, for something. Okay. Just relax, enjoy your weekend. What the rest of the world is looking for is something to happen after the meeting tomorrow. Okay, but I'm just saying, if you want to relax, just put it off your mind till Tuesday. If it happens before then, it'll be exciting.
Yeah. So are we looking for it to pop out on the CBI? Or is it that you think still we may hear something from your sources to tell us to go in before it hits the CBI? Or it should be about the same time? Do you think or not?
Yeah, we're not going before it hits the CBI. No. Okay. We might go before we see it on the CBI. But the CBI will have implemented it before we go, okay? The bank's not going to play that game. They're going to make sure it's done before they start calling in, 1 million people.
Right. Okay. All right. I know that possibly they could still be calling people in, but like you said, you won't really know a whole lot until, I guess, maybe the weekend. But, and I guess, in your opinion, they're still calling, if they are still calling people in, it's because of the personal contact you may have with someone or a certain amount of currencies you I guess you would hold, and if you purchased it from their banks, are they going down a list like that? Do you know or not?
Well, that's the only way they can know who you are. You had to purchase it from their bank, or you have to have some kind of banking relationship where somebody, at the bank knows who you are, and they created their own list. Because I got people who create their own list. I mean, bank people.
Oh.
As soon as they're authorized, they're like, I got you at number one, I got this guy, because they're going to get their percentage for selling business too. So that's what they're trying to do. So, they're not just taking people walking off the street, guys. It's people they know, they can trust, and if something's wrong, they know you're going to work with them. So nobody can just go to the bank and say, put me on your list. It's not working like that. But,
right. Well, I mean, I guess that's a good thing because a lot of us have purchased, especially dong from the banks and a lot of currency. I know I'm one of them. And I was just wondering how that process worked. How were they going about knowing who and when and how to call people on the list? So, okay.
Yeah, they're probably going by their Dinar purchases, though, just so you know, not by other currencies. They're looking at people who purchase large denominations of Dinar.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate everything you guys do, and let's hope we hear something this weekend. Y'all have a good weekend. Thank you.
All right,
Bye-bye.
You too. Enjoy your weekend. All right.
Bye. 865, you're on.
Hi, guys. Appreciate your taking my call. Also appreciate the continued access to lots of nuggets here. Thank you for the update, Ray, from yesterday. If I can follow through on that with respect to the messages on Iraqi TV, noting the UN giving Iraq warning, is that message still being broadcast over there? And did they even go into further detail on what the further severe repercussions could possibly be if they continue delaying forming their government?
It was broadcast on TV yesterday. I don't know that it is being broadcast right this minute, or they continuously broadcast it. But there's also, which I think you would have been well aware of, an article out about the same thing. And no, it does not limit the penalties or what's going to happen. It just tells them there can be.
Okay. That kind of segues into the issue with Maliki, son-in-law, the implications on fraudulent activity, insider trading, that sort of thing. Of course, I think he probably feels like he's gotten a degree of safety, as it were, coming in with one of the positions. But if he were to be, suddenly find the black SUVs outside of his residence, would he actually be tried by the World Court, or would that be in the Iraqi system? Or am I getting too much of the cart before the horse on this one?
No, any of these crimes I think would be in the Iraqi system. But just like here, he is protected. That's not going to protect the rest of his family. They can still be prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his only thing is, with his position, can he influence that not happening? So there's a real battle going on with Maliki. People are trying to expose him and expose everything he's done to the point where they have to do something. And he's still trying to fight to hold that position, which it seems like he has one, to protect him from doing anything to him. The rest of his family is at risk. Absolutely.
Okay. Back to the contract rate issue and the like. Of course, we know what the dollar amount expectation is for all the various currencies of interest. I'm curious, going back on the history, and forgive me if this has been covered in some past, but sometimes I feel information overload has deluged me. when the contract rate issue came out, were those rates as, a set amount that, okay, contract rates available to folks like us, it'll be X number of dollars and that's it? Or were the contract rates set up as a percentage of the whole, and the whole could conceivably fluctuate as more money came back into the system? So a 10% could still be a greater amount even though it's later in the game because more money is floating in the system.
Okay. So you're strictly talking about the deal that I made with them. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about, it's $28.50 that as a contract rate. And how much, what is the pool of funding available at the $28.50 rate? Are we talking, $10 billion is available to us, or, $1 billion, $1 million, whatever? And it's
okay. Let me tell you how this
works.
Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, the max contract rate has always been. Well, I'm saying max contract rate for the average person was $28.50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the beginning, you could negotiate a contract rate. Well, you guys know it not. The rate could be $4, and you could get a contract rate of 10, and I get a contract rate of 15, and Ray get a contract rate of 18, or anything in between. But it would be outside the norm. That was your contract rate. And that's how they were going to do it in the beginning. So then, when we negotiated what we negotiated, they decided that the contract rate was going to be $28.50 for everybody across the board. So nobody had to negotiate the contract rate. Either you got it or you didn't. And that we were going to get like 10% of our dinars would get that rate. Okay? 10% of us, the public, will get that rate. Now, I thought 10% would be a great number. I mean, it was okay, but they far exceeded that. So I'm going to tell you, they were very much fair, and I felt it was a fair number, and that's why I accepted it, and that's what we're looking for. Not a dollar amount, but the number of people who get that percentage.
Okay.
Who get the contract rate. Okay.
Okay. Appreciate that clarification. And lastly, I like all of the little hints that you have been providing in terms of when we should consider to see our excitement level going up. Some should wait until Tuesday or knowing about tomorrow's meeting. However, you didn't really give us an indication of the time frame for tomorrow's meeting. Are you in a position to share that?
No, because I don't know what time it is. I just know it's supposed to occur tomorrow.
So we don't know if it's tomorrow in the morning Iraqi time, which is really early in the morning Eastern time, or do they sleep late on Saturday in Iraq and it's 2 p.m. Iraqi time, which is still early Eastern time.
Well, let me tell you this. So I don't know when the meeting is, but I know Iraq wanted the rate to change an hour before their business day started. Their business day starts at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow is their first day of the week, first day of business. So it could start at 8 a.m. Iraq time. I don't know. But that's typically what they wanted to make sure it was done at least an hour before they started their business day.
That's the kind of information, sir, that we appreciate having. Appreciate that. And so we just calculate the time on Eastern in terms of when we can start to be really looking at it. So I appreciate that. And again, I'm also counting on you guys to tell us when is the official time for this to have happened so that you can then say 10 days hence is when the TNT Super Fantastic Pay It Forward project will be held, whether it's 10 days from tomorrow or the next day or whatever. But it sounds exciting, both over there and here. And we appreciate it. Have yourself a great day and a great weekend. Thanks again so much.
You
appreciate
too.
it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Right. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. 440, you are on. 440 792 2209. You're on.
Good morning and good afternoon, gentlemen. I try not to do a lot of chitty chat so there's more time for other callers, but I truly want to say thank you for your patience and for putting up with my simplicity. I know sometimes my questions are not always relevant to everybody, yet I hope what I ask will help somebody else out there. 404 asked about 3 of my questions, so that takes care of that. My brain is, like hers, on overload on one thing. I did go to Google and did a search on spread fees, but I can never find anything that really pertained to foreign currency exchange. It contained buy and sell, which you just mentioned earlier in this call, but I still don't understand it. Can you do it in a real simple form for me so I understand?
The buy and sell?
The spread fee.
You guys keep calling it a fee, and it's not a fee. It's just the spread of the rate between buy and sell. So, if you look on the board and the rate is $4.40, okay? That's what they will sell it to you for, $4.40. All right?
Okay.
Now, that's their sell rate. The buy rate is what they will buy it from you for. They're not going to buy it from you for what they sell it for because they can't make a profit in there. So they'll buy it from you for 20% less than what they will sell it for because that's their profit margin when they resell it.
But we are reversing the table on it because they're buying from us now, so that means there won't be a spread?
No. They're always buying it for, okay, you bought it from them, right? You bought Dawn. Let's say you bought Dawn right now at $50. You went in, you bought $1 million for $50. Now, today is Friday. You go back tomorrow and you say, hey, I want to sell this back. They're only going to give you $40 for it. You buy it from them at one rate. They buy it from you at a discounted rate so they can make a profit when they sell it again.
Okay, so, but in regards to what we are doing, when we go back in to have them buy it back from us, they're going to be buying it back at a higher rate now, correct?
Okay, they still should be buying it from you unless you do the contract. It's a regular transaction. They should still be buying it from you at a 20% lower rate. If that's what they're doing now, that's what they should be doing. Unless they're going to do something different for the RV. And that's the part we're waiting to see.
Okay.
They could change up and say, well, with the contract rate at least. But anything else, they may say, this is a normal transaction. Yes, that is the rate. $4 for the dinar. But I'm only going to give you $3.80 for it.
Okay. What about the exchange fee? That has to do with the U.S. Treasury, right? And that is a given, like 1%. Is that correct?
No. The exchange fee is with the bank. That's where they're going to make their money doing your exchange. So they charge you a fee. Now, they could just flat say, hey, for the RV purposes, for this, we're just going to do the fee. We're going to do it. I don't have that information yet. Now, I'm going to call today, see can I get the exact procedure, but we don't know that yet on what dollar amount. And they could say, we're just taking the fee. We're giving you the rate. This is it. We're going to take the fee.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with the U.S. Treasury. Like I said, I'm on overload. Are you saying there's 8 million people exchanging in just the U.S., or is that worldwide?
No, that was just the U.S. and that was the number I got 5 years ago. Now, the bank thinks right now, they think there's 30 million people in the U.S. who have at least one dinar note that either somebody gave them or they bought that will participate in this transaction. That's their number. They think there's up to 30 million people now who have dinar.
Wow. Okay, and my last question, I believe, is I was trying to do the math on the 24 cents, and if I did it right, I knocked off 6 zeros, so there's 14 zeros on the ZIM, and I knocked off 6, that left 8, and I timed that, and I came up with 24 million, which was close to, for every 100 trillion, which was close to your 20 million. Is that still correct?
At 24 cents with 6 zeros off, it would be 24 million per note.
Okay. And that's all my questions. Again, I thank you very much for putting up with my simplicity, and God bless, and I will turn it over to the next caller. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
And it is confusing, guys, whether they're just going to use the fee or they're going to use the spread to make their money. Supposedly, they're going to use the fee, but we haven't gotten that in writing. And that's why we're telling you guys, go look and see what it is now. Prepare yourself, because we haven't gotten it in writing. Now, I will tell you, everybody I know that did exchange so far, they got the 440, and they only had to pay the fee. But I don't know that they're going to do that for the guy walking in off the street up to the teller window. These guys had millions and millions of dollars. They only paid the fee. It might not apply to everyone. Well, I know it won't at the teller window because the teller won't have the authorization to do that. So if you're going to a teller and you're going to walk up and do that, you should be prepared for the spread between the buy and sell. Okay, Ray?
765 area code, you were on.
Yeah, Ray. Yeah, Tony. How you guys doing today?
All right. Fantastic.
I'm super fantastic.
Hey, pretty much all my questions, except for maybe one's been answered today, but I'm just curious how much longer you think they can kind of play this cat and mouse game by thinking we have to do something and then it gets done and then all of a sudden we have to do something else. I mean, everybody thought last week at this time that the budget was the key piece we were waiting on. Now the budget come out, but they still didn't, show the new rate. So, I mean, how much longer can they keep coming up with reasons to delay this thing? Are they starting to run out of time here based on the tweet from earlier today?
Well, I'll tell you this. Based on what we're getting from Saturday, based on the fact that Iraq is putting out that the reconstruction funds will go into effect next week and start to be applied, which we know requires a new rate, I think we're at the end, whether it's tomorrow or it's Tuesday, Wednesday. With just those two pieces of information telling me something's getting ready to happen. But now we have the tariffs, we have the meeting, we have our inside people telling us to expect something over the weekend, and we have Iraq itself saying that Kuwait's first billions will be applied next week when the reconstruction. Now, we expected it to be the 1st of March. Now they're saying next week they're going to start applying the reconstruction funds. And that wasn't supposed to be until there was a new international rate.
Okay. Now, 404 asked and kind of got a time frame of what Iraq was wanting to do, being an hour before they opened for their business week, which would be 8 a.m. in the morning. Are we 8 hours different from Iraq? They're 8 hours ahead of us. Is that correct?
They're 8 hours ahead of the East Coast. Now, because they wanted it an hour before business doesn't mean it can't be 4 hours before business opens.
Yeah, but I mean, just based on 8 hours before, it could happen then anytime after your 3:45 this evening through, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, then East Coast time, then possibly.
It could happen during that time frame, But the other thing is, it's not supposed to happen until Barzani meets somebody and they both sign the agreement and it's implemented immediately is what it was supposed to happen. So I don't know what time that is. That could be tonight sometime. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. But that is supposed to happen tomorrow.
Okay. Now, are you still hearing contract rates for the dong in that $2 to $3 range?
I am.
Okay. All righty. That's all the questions I had. I appreciate everything you guys do for us.
All right. Thank you, sir.
281 area code. You're on.
Yeah, is that me?
Yes, 281. You're on.
Yeah, okay. There was another 281. I was starting to talk and so I got on. Okay, anyway, very briefly, it was made about Only the Strong Survive. I'll tell you, it came to the beginning of the week. I was really, really down because I thought it was over. You know, they said the budget was going to be done and it was posted in the Gazette, and then they come back and they said they had the old rate. I just couldn't believe it. I'm sure a lot of your people didn't believe it. I mean, how can they have the old rate and do all their I started thinking this thing is going to be hopeless with these people in Iraq. I mean, the last two prime ministers have been wimps and incompetent, and I just thought to myself, I was really down. I mean, I feel, by the way, I feel much better now that you said they're going to redo everything. But you consider the fact, like with Maliki, I mean, I just can't believe this guy. I mean, he let ISIS in. He has billions of their dollars. They're so afraid of him, and they put him into the cabinet. Although he says he has no influence already, as you said in their post, he's given inside information to contractors. So, I mean, it's getting to be, it's really bad. I mean, it's so bad. But I'll tell you, as the call went on, this is going to be a much different call for me. I was going to be very despondent, when I was first calling, but after I heard a lot of your responses and hopefully something is going to happen, I'm getting a little more positive. So hopefully it does go by. But I do think, in a way, it's hard for me to comprehend how these guys think. I mean, the prime minister before could have had this done a year ago, and he's, we're going to do it transparent, and we're going to do it the right way, and then he loses. And a new guy comes in, and he pulled this stuff from last week. I just hope that they, in fact, do something. That here's part of my concern, Tony, is this. It always seems it has to happen. It's got to happen, or, the world's going to fall apart. And I thought that was it as far as last week was concerned. Now, then he uses the old, how stupid do you think they are? I mean, they use the old rate. Now they say, it has to be done this week. And I'm kind of hoping that he does do it at the right rate. But then again, looking at past experiences, I mean, I'm being the worst case scenario type person. What if he doesn't do it? I mean, life still goes on. Nothing happens. And then what do we do then?
Well, we don't do anything, first of all. So let's get away from sit and wait our turn. We can't force anything. We can't demand anything. That's not for us to do. So we don't even go down that road until the RV happens. Then things affect us. So we sit back, we wait, we watch, and hope they do what they're supposed to do. Now, this is what you guys aren't noticing, though, okay? There's a right and a left. Marty's on the right-hand side, where Abadi was on, and he's taking 2 steps forward every time. And that left-hand side, where Maliki is, Iran is, where corruption is, for every 2 steps he takes, they pull him back 1. Or they make it harder and make him go 2 steps to the left, then 2 steps to the right. But here's the part you're missing. Every time he's still going forward. He's still getting towards that finish line. As hard as they're making it, as wide as they're making him turn this way or that way, or they're making him take a step back to miss this pothole or so he doesn't trip over this, he still took a step forward. And that's what you have to do when you're in this type of political fight where people have this type of power, where corruption has been in charge for so long. You don't get to just knock them over the head and say, boom, you're out of here. You have to inch, and, you know, just like our own government, put a person in here, and vote for this, and slowly and methodical cause change. And we're trying to see change, and I'm going to give us the whole 10 years since it started, even though it didn't, because, you know, Bush, who I now love, I didn't even like him, but I love him now, just wanted the money. Obama caused change, which he had them to change their society. But we can't change, you know, the last 1,000 years or the last 200 years, whatever it is, in 10 years. I mean, not completely. They couldn't do it overnight. And if they get it accomplished in 10 years, they create a miracle in itself, because still all the corruption isn't going to be eliminated. It just isn't. And it's going to take time and change their mindset and everything else. So while Maliki was prime minister, he was doing what Iran wanted him to do. He was keeping this from happening. He didn't want it to happen, didn't want to create a democracy. He wanted to become a dictator. That's why he let ISIS in. He wanted to declare a state of emergency, but they wouldn't let him, because then he'd be dictator for life. So he lost that battle. But that's what he was trying to do, and he continues trying to do, disrupt the government so he can keep his power and influence. Mahdi, Abadi, you know, they're on the weaker side, but they're trying to do the right thing. They're fighting. The only reason Abadi didn't get reelected, guys, the only reason he didn't get reelected was because Maliki and Iran started a campaign against him, because he said he was going to come after Maliki when he got reelected, that he was going to charge him, make sure he didn't get it. That's why he's not there. Mahdi is going to live with Maliki having a position. I don't care. Let's get everything else done, and then we'll deal with Maliki during the next cycle. And he understands that. So it may be, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it's still going forward. As this gets done tomorrow, they sign off now for the first time, God knows, Kurdistan and Baghdad and the whole of Iraqi is tied into one system for the tariffs, for the borders, for everything. They've now unified their country and can now go forward. This is something those people, they thought they would never see. They would never see this happening, but it's now happening. That's a big part of what we need. Everybody had to be on the same page, one system, one rate, just like they had to redo the lower denoms. They did them. You guys know that. They didn't have the Kurdistan language on it. Now they're redoing all the borders, the tariffs, everything is going to have the Kurdistan language added into it, so they're one country. It's a big step tomorrow. And when that's accomplished, we should see this. But all of that is making this happen while Maliki and everybody on the left, right are constantly fighting it. And they're getting it done a little bit at a time, but they're getting it done.
You know, how much influence you think, because let's play, Maliki is a real snake. You know, the fact is he's in there. They say he doesn't have any power, but you know he's going to try to weasel something out of him. I don't know. I know it was an appeasement to get him in there, but I still think that he's not going to stand by and not have any power, I think. And I just think he's always going to be a thorn in our side as long as he's in there. But I don't know what to say. I mean, what more can we do?
Well, okay, so they gave him a title, vice president. And now, what is he doing? He has influence, know that. So now he's trying to give the vice president some authority, because he's trying to add, I don't just want the name, I still need to be able to do something. I want to take over the foreign ambassador's job. I still want to have some kind of influence. I'm a vice president. Vice presidents haven't had any influence before. They were just names on the list. But now he's trying to change that so he can have some kind of power or authority. But even without that, he still has influence. And that's the problem. It's like, you know, you go in and I'm going to use a sports analogy and say, we're on a basketball team. And then I get mad at the coach or I get mad at the owner and he cuts me from the team. But guess what? All those guys are still loyal to me. So when I say, hey, man, you guys really need to mess up. You guys really need to do this or say this about him. And, once we get the owner fired, I can come back on the team. Well, they're going to do that. And that's what's happening here. He still has people in positions, and they're still putting them who are still loyal to him, whether he's prime minister or not. So if he can get that vice president position and get it some authority and power, then that creates even more loyalty. So now Mahdi is still fighting from within his own government, and that's how it's going to be until he cleans it out. And he's trying to do that a position at a time. And that's the only way you can do it. You cannot wipe it out, bring them all in, because all the new people wouldn't have a team. They'd be loners. They wouldn't have built loyalty yet. They wouldn't owe anybody, and nobody would owe them, which makes it difficult to do anything. Because politics is all about not what you know, but who you owe.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Okay, I guess I just hope the fact that he's in there, he's still going to do some stuff as far as holding up the RV and everything else. Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say our chances are of the RV being released next week? Would you guess?
I'll just say 9, since I can't say 10. But it's sounding good. Everything's going through. If it in fact does what they say they're going to do, then we're done. I mean, if something else comes up, I can't see. But if they do what they say they're going to do, and the tariffs go, who can afford, the new taxes and tariffs? Nobody under the present situation. Who can even afford to buy a $50,000 car over there? Nobody under the present situation, except for government officials. And they're not just going to tax themselves. They're doing this to tax the people.
Yeah, that sounds very good. Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate your input, and it makes me feel much better. I'm sure a lot of the people in the audience feel better, too, with the new explanation. Okay, you both have a good day, okay?
All right, thank you, sir. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you.
You too. Thank you.
All right.
Uh-oh. Let's see. We lost the system here. Hold on.
Okay, so somebody just sent me a text. Yeah, I'm going to read this text while you're doing what you're doing. All right. It says, by the way, my cousin was in line at Wells Fargo to pick up his order of dong. The man in front of him had ordered $1,800,000,000. The manager ran it through the Delarue machine multiple times to make sure it was accurate. Said my cousin was picking up $1 million. He could not believe it. You're going to get $1 million for $50, and the guy standing in front of you is buying $1,800,000,000. That guy must know something. If he's buying that much dong, don't you guys think? If he's going in there buying it at this late date, $1,800,000,000, man, make me want to go to the bank. Hold on for a minute. Isn't there something? Oh, I got another text. I'm just reading these until Ray gets ready, guys. This is actually a funny one, so don't nobody take it serious. It's kind of funny sometimes. He said, I got an idea. There's that CIA gal and the other, put the two in the room and see which one comes out. How about a dunk tank at the event? $100 a toss towards charity would pay the dunk G-Man. Okay. Oh, that was funny. Anyway, go ahead. G-Man, you're a celebrity. He wants to put you in the dunk contest. Okay, Ray. You ready?
Almost.
Oh.
This thing's doing something crazy here. I'm trying to get it to reset and let me get control back. I think I almost got it. Let's see. Our next caller would be 303.
303?
303?
Well, can you hear me?
Good. Yeah,
yep,
I can hear
yep.
you. Oh, which 303?
You, the one that said, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, 303.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
yes,
I'm
you're on.
303. Can you? Okay, good. One quick question. Some while back, maybe 3 months or 4 months ago, you guys were talking about a bank account that was beyond your bank's account. That in the bank's normal bank accounts, the bank owns the money once you make the deposit. But this was if you push the deposit beyond that into another type of an account, the bank doesn't own it, you retain it within your own name. Can you remember the name of that type of account so that when we talk to our wealth managers, we can say we want to push this money through to that?
You mean to an account where your bank doesn't use it in investment?
Well, just that you have total control of the money, that it's not the bank's money as it is under what we would call our FDIC rules, but it's in an account. While the bank is handling it, it's pushed beyond their total control, so that if they went insolvent, you still have your money.
I can tell you the best thing you can do right now is call a banker and ask him. I do know what you're talking about. I know, and it is to protect your money from being lost in risky investments and things. But call a banker right now and discuss it with him and find out, because I can't tell you right off the head. But I do know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, that I thought maybe if you remembered, you could share it with the group, and I will do that. I've got a good relationship with my wealth manager, so I appreciate your help.
Okay, so this is what you do. You can help us all
Yes,
out there. Call your wealth manager, discuss it with him, then come back and tell us.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
you. I mean, we'd appreciate it. All right. So teamwork makes the dream work. All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. 713, you're on.
Yeah, baby.
Okay. Hello, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Good deal. All right. First of all, Ray, Tony, how y'all doing today?
I'm fantabulous.
Super fantastic.
To the nth degree. And yourself?
Okay. I'm fantastic. I'm doing great. It's Friday. Friday's always a good day, right?
All right.
All right. So first of all, to the person who emailed in earlier saying, can we cut out the asking how y'all are doing and all that stuff because it's boring? That's what I got to say.
Ooh. Okay.
God, man. I just, it's just common courtesy and decency. What's the matter with that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Most of my questions have been answered, but I just want to get a little bit more clarity. When it comes to the 800 numbers, can we, when we call in, you got to call in and say, can we pick what bank we want to go to, or do we go to the redemption center and there's representatives for several different banks? Just give me a little bit more clarity on that.
I don't know, because we don't know how it's going to work. I've talked to different banks, and they have exchange centers. But as far as the 800 number goes, all I know is they're going to want your name, your zip code, how much you have in each currency, with the information, and then set you up with someone who can handle your dollar amount. Now, whether they're going to say, do you want B of A or Chase or Wells or Citibank, I'm not aware of how it's going to work.
Okay. All right. And I've asked you a few times. Now, you did say earlier in the call that you're seeing contract rates for dong at between $2 and $3. Is that meaning that is back on the table now? Last week you were still trying to figure out or find out, is the contract going to be offered for the dong?
I believe the contract rates are going to be offered. I've been told they've been paying out the contract rates on the dong to whoever they've been paying with, so it can't be that many people, so there has to be some left, okay?
Okay. And how will they decide as far as who can get that? Is it about the amount of currency you're holding for the dong, for instance, or the dinar, whatever? How are they going to decide? What is the determining factor? Or is it just first come, first serve, and what's available?
Okay. So over a period of time, we've gone through a limit of 20 million. We've gone through people with 20 million and below. They wanted to give it to first, so we don't have billionaires everywhere, 100 millionaires. So again, they've discussed a couple different procedures. So I'm going to tell you guys, let's wait till we get the instructions, and we'll go through it one last time. But besides that, I'm going to tell you, I'm taking all mine in, and I want a contract rate on all of it. Why? Because nothing beats a failure but a try. And I'm trying that first. Okay?
Exactly. I agree. And 915 asked a question about the CBI, your CBI contact, and I was going to ask that about him. It seemed like he's always said, "Yeah, it's done. You just wait and see." And and then we had in December 95% 1 week, 100% by the following week. That did that. Okay, I get it. Things don't happen. It's Iraq. I know what we're dealing with there. But now he had said that he's thinking it was going into March, and you're saying, based upon what your info is telling you, it's really going to depend on if they do this, if Mahdi and Barzani do this tomorrow. Is a big thing, which does make sense. Is that really, truly, do you think there's anything else that's going to stop this or hold this up?
I can't think of anything else because I didn't think this would, but it makes sense to have your country aligned and everybody in the same system, everybody working under the same system before you do it, and they're charging one rate and you're charging a different rate and your currency is another rate. So, okay, they've unified the country. They've agreed how much Kurdistan is going to get. They've agreed how much the oil is going to be, HCL. They agreed to put Kurdistan writing on the currency. Now they've agreed to put Kurdistan writing in the border tariffs and all the documents and everything else, and to having one pay system. So could we look at that and say it really wasn't important to you and me, but did the country want that? Did the IMF want that? Make sure you all unified before we go to this next level? Yeah. So I don't know what else there could be when they've agreed on everything except for some ministers, which really don't have anything to do with the currency except for the fact the U.S. wants to know who's going to be controlling it. And maybe they do know. I don't know.
Well,
last Wednesday it was frustrating because he didn't know they were going to do this on Saturday. And things changed just that quick. UN said, hey, we're tired of playing with you guys. They decided, hey, let's go ahead and get this done right now. So on the 1st, we'll have the prime ministers and do what we need to do. So a lot of things happen in a very short period of time. Go ahead.
And Mahdi has accepted that he would take those pieces of defense and interior until it's straightened out in 2020, correct?
He initially was going to take them until June 30th. He had till June 30th to come out. Then they put articles out saying that it won't be resolved until 2020. Iraq did. And now the IMF is telling them it's going to be resolved right now or you're going to pay the price. So today they're saying it's going to be resolved as soon as the new parliament starts, which is March.
Scheduled March? That's in the beginning of March? Or?
Yeah, it's supposed to start the first part of March.
Okay. And they did put it out. The last thing is that the reconstruction funds will go into effect next week. That's an article that's out there that we can get, or can you tweet that out or something?
Say it again. The article that says what?
That the reconstruction of funds will go into effect next week instead of at the beginning of March, which you said earlier in the call. That was originally going to be the beginning of March, but now. Where can I get that?
Well,
or can you tweet it
out?
Let
me see. We can ask. I can tweet it out. I can do that. I was going to ask her to put it in the forum, but I can tweet out so everybody can see it.
Yeah, because I'm not in the forum. So that would be a big help. That's it, my friends. I do appreciate it, all you do, and I will be on, looking for another call. I guess my only thing is your gut. You're thinking very, very positive between now and Tuesday.
Yeah, but I'm a positive person, so I'm always thinking positive. But yeah.
I get it. All right, and we'll watch for what happens over the weekend. You'll let us know with an update on what happens with that meeting tomorrow, right?
I will. As soon as we know, you'll know.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Have a
All
great day.
Anybody else looking for the article? Tish just told me it's already in the forum. But for those who can't get in the forum, y'all try and snatch it and tweet it out. Okay.
918 area code, you're on. (918) Okay, you're off. 386 area code, you're on.
Good morning.
Greetings.
Good morning. How you doing?
Okay, this is on speaker. Does it bother you any?
You sound okay.
Actually, I can hear you pretty good. Yeah.
I've got two things. First of all, in reference to what Tony was saying about that guy buying $8 billion, $1,800,000,000, could he be one of those that they've already paid off? Because that seems grossly unfair that they can pay them off and they can buy more.
Well, I have no idea who he is. Somebody just tweeted me based on the numbers he spent $90,000. So I have no idea who he is.
Well, like I say, could that be one of these people that they've paid off already and buying more? Because that'd be grossly unfair to us.
I agree. And so we don't start an argument. I'm telling you, I have no idea who he is. So
okay.
I don't want to put that out there. He could be. I mean, I don't know, but I have no idea who it was.
Yeah, I wasn't asking who he was. I just, as a individual. But second part, can somebody tweet out the site to get to the zones? I've had a stroke and I'm having a hard time trying to remember which zone we're in for the Treasury.
Oh.
You ready?
I can't. Oh, no, he wants you to tweet it because he can't do it. He had a stroke.
I don't remember. I think Florida's zone 6, but I'm not sure.
But you can't write it down?
Oh.
I have nothing to write with. I'm in the truck right now.
Okay.
Are you just interested in what zone Florida is in? Is that what you want?
Well, I need to know where I'm at, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe Ray can send that out or something.
I was going to say, if you just
I'm like you. I really don't know. That's a great thing.
We'll get it out to you.
All righty. I thank you much, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
The term loosely until I meet you.
The term loosely what?
I use that term loosely until I meet you.
Oh, okay. I'll accept that, dude. All right.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Alrighty. Take care.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right.
503 area code, you're on.
Hi, this is Oregon. How are you doing?
I'm
How are you
doing,
Oregon?
To the nth degree.
I love that. I wanted to share with you something. So I wrote Ray this long thing yesterday, and I think I tweeted Tony the same thing because I was figuring out the 20% and the plus the 2%, and I was thinking, whoa, that's way over the top. So I was really happy to hear that they may forego the 20% or the 17% in the case of Chase, and just do the transaction fee, which seems to be much more reasonable. And I would encourage them to even do that with everybody that comes in with these currencies, even the ones who go to the tellers, because they're coming in with the least bit of currency. And so, it would be best for everybody if they would just do the 2% across the board. I might even try to negotiate on the 2%, but at least that's livable. Anyway, I also wanted to say that I really appreciate your tweets that come out in between times. What happens here is that I have a small group. Many of them, they work at all different times of the day, and sometimes some at night. And, they've been facing a lot of discouragement lately. And so when I can send them an update, it makes all the difference in the world. And so I just want to say thank you for doing those periodic updates, because it does make a big difference. It just keeps them feeling more positive. Even though a lot of this is kind of over their heads, I'm trying to educate them as much as I can, but at least that's the good thing. So I wanted to thank you on that. The question so my biggest issue was the whole thing around the 20% or the 17% in the spread. And if there's some bankers listening, I would encourage you to forego the spread and just concentrate on the 2% transaction fee. That's all. Thank you.
You tell them. That's right. That's what they need to do.
Makes a big difference. Huge difference. So,
okay.
And thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, to the members listening. If a member asks me for information, and if I say I'm going to send it to him, then that means I know what it is. I know some of you are being helpful, but I don't need you guys blowing up my phone with a bunch of text messages trying to give me an answer to something I already know. So please don't do that in the future. I'll have to start just uncommunicating you, or whatever that word is. 205. Oh,
sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
205. Let's go with you. No 205, okay? 559. Erico, you're on.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. This is the sign. This is the hand sign lady. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, I was calling because I didn't understand why the lady called in and wanted to put me and 4 in a room together. Seriously, if we went in a room together, we would just come out with a better plan to make the work better, right?
Yeah. There you go. That's right. I don't understand why you guys wanted to pay and put now I can't even think now. G-Man in the dunk tank. Yeah, but he wasn't getting a dunk tank for G-Man. So.
Yeah, me neither. We're just trying to make things better. I mean, she thought that the hand signs were weird, but I guess she doesn't understand that there's power in numbers, because it's just so we can recognize other Dinarians, right?
Yeah.
So Ray never really said if he thought it was a good idea. I know he kind of has his own little entourage going on.
Oh.
I never said I thought what was a good idea.
Wait. Have you been on open mic?
What's that?
Are you on open mic?
No.
Are you part of open mic? Oh, okay.
No.
I was just trying to figure out where Ray got his own entourage. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, because I listened to all the ladies call in and all of them. It just sounds like he has his own little entourage going on. So, they all know each other.
Okay.
Anyway, I just don't want for to think anything bad, because I love her. I look forward to listening to her sweet little voice and her brilliant questions.
Me too. But let's tell Ray what you're talking about, because he missed it.
Oh, the hand signs, to be able so that you and Tony could have your own universal hand signs so we could recognize other Dinarians. No, Ray?
Oh, that, okay.
The
TNT
hand signals?
Yeah, TNT.
Yeah.
So,
in all honesty,
right, Tony?
yeah, I'm all with it. I mean, I don't know how we do it, but I'm all with it. I walk around doing it all day, see if anybody does it back to me. But I always wanted to learn hand signals anyway, though, because I always wanted to speak sign language. So I never knew that. So that always helps me. It's just something I wanted to do.
But also that's fun. You could just Google it, and it shows you how to do the hand signals, and everybody could just learn TNT so we can have our own little game, right?
Okay. I'm with it. I'm doing it right now. It's real easy to do. Okay.
It is. So, okay. Well, I just needed to call in and make sure that 404 understood. I would never hurt her.
I'm sure she feels the same way. You guys are great. No, we're just all just having fun. All right.
I know.
It's all in love. Okay. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. 440 area code. What these people
Hello?
are doing.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, there he is. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm here. How are you today? Well, I got a lot of questions answered as I was listening, and so I'm happy for that. What I'm wondering, you have mentioned in the past that some people have been able to exchange, and I guess my question is it a secret exchange? Why haven't they come on and said, hey, I exchanged? Or, is there some reason that they're not saying anything? I'm just curious.
I'm sure that's part of the agreement in letting them exchange, is that they wouldn't say anything, whether or not they had to sign the NDA or they just, agreed. But here's the thing. They obviously told somebody, or I wouldn't know. And we have bank people who can look in the banking system, so they can see when transactions are taking place, even in different states, different locations. They can go in the system and see. They can see the volume and then dwell into it and see what kind of transaction it was.
Okay. Well, it doesn't surprise me that there's a way to track things like that. And, oh gosh, I had another question here and now it slipped my mind. The meeting that's taking place, I must not have heard who it was or
it's supposed to be Mahdi and Barzani. Kurdistan that signing the final agreement to bring all the tariffs and all the rates and the taxes together and at the border crossings, and to be under one system, and all the documents to have the Kurdistan language as well as Iraq or Baghdad.
Well, there's certainly a lot of moving parts that they're trying to coordinate. I guess maybe you've answered this and I don't understand or not. Who's holding the purse strings, I guess is my question.
U.S. Treasury.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Is the one who authorizes it, not authorizes it. Yeah.
So
hold on one second.
U.S.
Just
Treasury
change.
and
Hold on one second. Hold on 1 second.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
So the U.S. Treasury and the Central Bank of Iraq, they're like kissing cousins, or what's their relationship?
Yes, because of the war, because of the agreements and everything surrounding that, then we had the final say on a lot of things in Iraq, with this being one of them. Now, that has been authorized. They will still let Iraq go. I mean, Iraq has tried it a couple of times, and we stopped them already. But that's where it's going to be seen first in the CBI to the general public. Okay?
So it'll be seen in the CBI, but the U.S. Treasury says, okay, this can be seen.
Yes. That's basically U.S. Treasury says, okay, go ahead and release it for its final time. Then CBI does it. Then it goes international. We're good.
Okay. And this you may not be able to answer. It's not one person at the Treasury, is it? Or is it?
I mean, we only have one treasurer, and you're saying, is he the one who's making the decision? I'm sure the decision is being made over his head, and then he's being given the go-ahead.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. I don't know if you remember I said this before, but, I've been in this longer than you guys have, and, I'm still holding the high watch. I'm not going to give up. Well, there's nothing really to give up, but we appreciate the work that you guys do, and look forward to meeting you one day.
All right, you too, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
All righty, bye-bye. All right, 704. We'll get you in.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Morning.
Hey, Ray.
Hey.
This is Red Zim. A few months
Okay.
ago, I sent some currency, American and Zim. It was one Zim. You remember?
No, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I know you get a ton of that. Last time I called in was 4 years ago. Been riding this thing for about 9 years.
Wow.
And just want to tell y'all I appreciate it. And I'm loaded to the gills. So when this happens, I don't know if it's going to get pretty or ugly.
I was going to say, she might get prettier anyway, huh?
Yeah, who knows? But now, the only thing with me is, and Tony, you and I have had this conversation 4 years ago, I don't trust nobody. And I don't feel, I'm going to just throw it round numbers, and I'm not saying that I have this or I don't, but, if, let's just say you got 10 million dinar and you got 10 million dong. I don't feel comfortable going in and laying it all out and it being in their hands. And I know we're supposed to trust them and all of that, but I'm just like, I'd like to lock in a rate and let them have half of it, and as soon as it's liquid, then I would come back and bring the rest in. You guys, both of you, tell me what you think.
I think it's your transaction, and you have to feel comfortable. Now, you can go into a bank, and you can tell a banker, this is what I want to do at the 440. I want to, but I don't really trust you guys. So process this, and I'll be back on Thursday if it's live, and we'll process the rest at the regular rate. Or you can go in and negotiate and tell them the same. I got 20 million. This is the rate I want. I want to with you, and I want to do this. But because I don't really trust you, we're going to do it in 2 sections, half today and half tomorrow, half after it goes live. And he'll convince you, oh, just do it all at one time. Nobody's going to steal your money. And if he does, and he's probably 99.9%, I can't give any 100%, but that nothing will go wrong, and you'll get it. Guys, this is probably going to be the most watched bank event in the history of the world. Most watched, most scrutinized. Because one thing about it, if they do something to one of you, then they've done something to all of us. Because everybody could go through that. No bank wants that. Nobody wants to have that kind of exposure, that they're going to try and take people's money or process it or come up missing. Because you know what goes on in today's world? There's this thing called Facebook that's out of this world. And Twitter that's out of this world. And everything else. And when you get 50 or 100,000 people putting comments on there, things seem to change because they hit the news. They hit the news cycle. They force people to start asking questions. You imagine if you put 1 million people or 2 million people talking about one thing, about one bank, about, one situation. Nobody wants that kind of exposure. So, guys, I'm going to go in. I'm going to trust my bankers, I just am. I know my numbers. They know my numbers. We're going to do it. In 24 hours, it's going to show up. 48 hours, it's going to be there. And I think life goes on. Because right now, it's too easy to expose this to the world. Okay?
Things just happen.
Things do happen. That's why I said 99.9. Because sometimes things do happen.
I got you.
As long as they fix it.
All right. But that was just my biggest thing. And, I didn't want to look bad or be hard about it, but I just, I don't want what I don't want to happen. I've learned in life the things that I don't want to happen, and I don't want to go in there, 2 or 3 days later and like, why am I not liquid? What's going on? And they're like, oh well, and then something come up. But which I'm holding 5 currencies, so I got an outside chance anyway. So,
well, here's the second thing. Unless you're trying to get the contract rate, don't be the first mouse. Because if it happens,
I know
it's going to
that.
happen right here in the beginning where people are the most confused at.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not going to ask for the contract rate because I'm holding enough that I'll be okay. And everybody's got a number. But my thing is, I don't want anybody to have any kind of claim or control or anything over me. If I don't, if I say the wrong thing, then I'm gonna get burnt. So I'm gonna just take what I can get. I'm gonna be like the second or third mouse. So anyway.
Okay.
And so you know who I am. We're in the same club.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, it's my daughter's birthday today. So
Really?
Yep.
Well, I've only been in the club since June, so.
Well, I'm sorry you had to join it once again. I am. It's something that, nobody wants to. And only we understand what it's about. So
I understand.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I appreciate you. Appreciate everything you do, and let's get after it and talk to you later. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, Fred.
Take care. Thank you, sir. All right.
All right, sir. Wrap up time.
All right, guys. Been a long week. Been really one of those up and down weeks that we go through. And today is 180 degrees from what Wednesday was. Today, people are upbeat, positive. Look at the numbers on both sides, are excited about things that should happen this weekend. So let's see if Razani and Marty get together, documents get signed, tariffs go into effect, then we should be on our way. So enjoy the rest of your day. I'm enjoying mine. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hope you guys hear from us, because that means we're on the way. And yes, I will tweet out the article about next week, about the money going into effect next week. So I'll remember to do that. All right, guys, enjoy your day. Ray?
All right, folks, that's it. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend.